Hello, and good morning. Well, I just want to start with the line chart that we had from last week. And as I said, things are much more simplified when you use the line chart for weekly or the daily time frames. So as you can see, we have the same trend line. We broke up. Initially, we rejected from around here. Now we've broken up. A lot of panic that we're going to go down again, and we just held the retest. So if I put on the candles again, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So yeah, just this consolidation, retest of this level, which is the same as retesting this weekly level, and then we just move back up. So I'm not too worried about price going down. In fact, because of this, we got a really nice fill on a Solana long. So if anyone has been following, now this was a lower time frame trade, but if you remember in the last video, I said that I set an alert for this level. I said that we have these lows. Back then, price was at 178 or something. People were buying the breakout. I said, wait for a puke. So we had uh, about 11% move right back into our level. I had some bids in these box. So I think seven out of some 10 orders were filled. And now we're back to the highs. This is my, so 178, which we already hit. So that's my first profit taking level. So I took off 50%. After 50% profit taken, I'm just leaving it with stop to entry. As for Bitty, we had a little bit of noise on the lower time frames, and then we just moved back up. Extremely happy with how things have played out here. I am no longer interested in any shorts, at least on Bitcoin. You can take shorts if you want on altcoins, but like I was interested in shorts around here. Okay. I was waiting for shorts and then I was stopped out on this final push and then we took another short and then 68.5 or something and then we rode it all the way down. The reason is pretty simple. Uh, excuse me. Yeah. So what we had up here was extremely high volume, pushing price up. And once that volume dissipated, we had a low volume pump up into a very critical resistance zone, and then we puked back down. So right now, what we're seeing is just a really nice recovery, and this volume remaining low. If join the Telegram, we talked a lot about cascades there. So just join my Telegram. The link is in the video description and then you just search for cascades. So this was a beautiful example of a cascade where we had a lot of selling volume and we had a lot of liquidations. And then once price broke above here, this is where I was really bullish and I caught like I longed a little bit of FTM around here. And then I longed a little bit of I think it was I forgot the name of the coin. There's some meme coin that I bought. Like just I don't even know the name. I just longed it. So we'll talk about it. The quarterly VWAPs, so far so good. The best buying opportunity, as we talked about, was 59K right here, where we deviated the lower bands and then we moved back up. This is the same exact fractal as October 2023, and we're just repeating the same stuff, right? What do I want to see right now? Because elections are still far away. So my base case is that I doubt we see like us break through all-time highs before elections. So this is our current all-time high. So I don't think that we're ready to just pump through it quite yet, but you never know, equities have gapped up. So I would expect us to range, and there's a lot of liquidity above us. So when we do break out, it's going to be massive. So you see these highs, like this high, and even this high. So these are all like within very small increments of around 5%. So if we break through here, we likely go for the highs next. Concurrently, what I would love to see is that we deviate this high and then we move back down, scare everyone a little bit. Maybe not that deep, like maybe we just hold the quarterly open and then we move back up. And this would also align with the quarterly VWAPs. So, we go to the first band, maybe like we just move up from 64.6, 64.4K, and that's about how I'm planning to play things. Because right now I can't take a long at these highs. If we come back down, then I can be interested in something. Another thing to be cautious about is this is the DOM and the basically like the orders. So red means sell, blue means buy, as if that wasn't obvious. So this is across exchanges. This is Coinbase, this is Binance, and then these are some other exchanges. Liquidations here, ignore the liquidations tab here, does not really matter. Okay. What does matter is these asks that we see above us. So what is happening right now is that the bid liquidity towards the lows, and this is extremely lower time frame from 68,000 to 68.5K. So there's not a lot of spot bid liquidity, but there is. Let me just make this green to make my point clear. Yeah. So there's no green liquidity for us. So there's no buying pressure at the lows, but there is selling pressure at the highs. There's no reason to panic. This just means that we can have a small dip and then move back up. Because whenever you break out, so whenever you have a small breakout uh, from these highs, like it's always been massive sell walls. So people are just placing their sell orders the entire way up, especially on spot, and then you have to burn through it, right? So you just have to imagine it as somebody placing a lot of food above us, and then you have to basically eat your way out by brute force mechanism. What do I mean by eat our way out? So this is the origin of the dump. We don't need this line anymore. So this is the origin of the dump on 22nd and 23rd, right? So what happened is that we are defending the lows very well, and this is mostly through spot defending it. So what we have is below 66K, we have a lot of spot bids, and above 69K, we have a lot of ask bids. So that's why if you look at my range right now, it's between these levels. So I expect price to range a little bit here, especially because altcoins are considerably weaker than Bitcoin. And then if you look at the past few days, it's been 13 days now that we're just chopping around in this range and we're building a lot of value. So whichever way we break, unless it's a false break. So if we go back and then immediately get shot down, that is extremely bearish. And then if we come down and then immediately get back up above these lows, that's extremely bullish. Okay. Because you're building a lot of value. There's a lot of volume being traded around these levels. And once any break happens, or even like the retest holds, so if we move back up and the retest holds, then this thing is ready to go to all-time highs, right? So yeah, back to what I was talking about. Right now, throughout the weekend, we've not like this could just be a lot of like 8% move up in open interest, spot remaining relatively flat, perps, it's a mixed reaction. Like you have shorts and longs adding at market concurrently. It's just that you need spot buying to get back. So today SPX has moved up. Been a gap up in equities. So you need that support. You need this to continuously push you up. Right now, your price is up 5.5% from the lows, and open interest is up around 10%, which is not good news. But the same thing happened on the dump. So, open interest nuked a lot when price moved up. So right now price is almost at the same level and open interest is also at the same level. So these were the exact conditions that led us to dump twice now. So it is possible that we have some sort of a deviation and move back down, in which case I will look to take profit on my longs the moment we deviate back down. So if we move up and deviate back down from this line, I'll just look like even if for now, like this is the 4 hour chart, right? So if we lose the 4 hour low here and we sort of start trading down and we don't defend this, right? We don't defend 67.7. I'll just get out of my longs and all of my longs are in profit. Sol is up. My average entry is like 160. It's up 11%. LDO, we were able to average down. We were able to average down on FTM. So FTM, as I said last time, like I just want a sweep of these lows. So we got this sweep. I was not able to catch like the Pico bottom because I just had bids along this way. Like I have bids till this box, right? I want to get a perp position. So my entry is around 0.62. So we're still up like 10%, which is extremely nice. And then here is where I would ideally like to de-risk. And if we lose this low, I can just cut the position, and that's how you trade a bull market, guys. You are extremely generous with your stops. And then you use the VWAP bands, and then we're holding the VWAP band. We're right up against the VWAP. So any sort of a pullback here, especially to this region, could be like a compound long opportunity. Okay. I'll not take more of your time. This has been enough. So for Bitcoin, like I'm not really expecting too much action in the short term. Another thing to keep on mind, like a lot of these things are just, just okay, keep this in mind, keep this in mind, keep this in mind. Like it just keeps going and never ends. But we did have a weekly close and we did have a CME gap. So we gapped up. We have a gap towards the downside, which means that it doesn't really mean anything on its own, but I have a gap trading tutorial on Twitter, which means that if we come into this gap and we hold it as support as resistance, then you could look for a long opportunity. And very nicely, this correlates with us uh, just holding this consolidation low. So right now, if you look at the structure, this is the resistance that you banged up against, and now suddenly prices moved up. So if we hold this, sweep or whatever, and then move up, extremely bullish, right? So same thing. And then if we lose it, which is also possible, and which would give us the scenario where we just go to range lows, as I talked about, like if we deviate this and then we lose this, so this could be a short opportunity. In which case, you want to most probably look for Fibonacci level. So let's say this is your Fibonacci level. If we dump, so you want a retest of this and then dump back down, you can take a short opportunity. The reason I am remaining in longs is because, we held this retest and we just keep pushing up. The reason I am cautious and I want to take a short if something happens is because in this dump, I got filled on a lot of long orders, which are all in profit. So I don't want to give that up, if it makes sense. Like for LDO, this was my initial entry, right? So this was my chart that I shared days ago now. And then we were in some good profit. This is where I shared it. We pumped up to 1.2. I was in a lot of profit, but kind of round tripped it. I took some profit at these highs, and that's how I'm going to play it. So usually, what I do with these trades, this is like a generous stop. If you close below this, yeah, I'll exit. But what I want to like kind of illustrate is that you don't necessarily have to stick to a position, right? So what I do is every time we go below like 1.05 or something, so I got filled on a lot of these orders here. I only have one final order at 0.95. If that also gets filled, then it's fine. And now my average entry is like, I think, hold on, let me check on my phone on the side. Uh, okay. hmm Yeah. Yep. So my average entry is 1.013, which is good, decent, still floating around entry. So what you want to do in these scenarios is you want to go heavy. So now this is like based on a closing basis, right? So I have around 3% of my perp account risk already. If we fill this 0.95 order, then it will be around 3.5% risk, right? So what I want to do is if we sweep down and then get back up, I will add another. So this will be like 5% account risk. And then the moment we start coming to these highs, I'll take some profit. I'll close like 10% or 20%. And then my risk on the table will be 4% and I've already booked profit. So right now what happens is that even though I have 3% account risk, I took profit here, which means that essentially if you include this realized profit, which was yeah, like after a 20% move. So like essentially I only have 2.6% risk on the table. Okay. So 2.6% or 2.4% rather, sorry. So 2.4% risk on the table. If we do this one more time, I'll increase risk, but then if we do these a couple of times, I'll have already made thousands of dollars and then be prepared for this next move up till here. And it was already like an 11-hour trade. So if we move down, I will not close unless we start like losing this level. This is like all-time low for the asset. And I'm extremely bullish on the fundamentals. So this is worth taking a 3% account risk in my opinion. Because if this goes to my target, I will make 40% on my entire POP account. I will obviously take profit along the way. So, I'll keep taking profit at these highs, this high, or whatever. But the fact remains that regardless of how much profit I take, this one trade can make me 20% on my entire perp account. So anyway, I'll not take more of your time. I want to get this video out soon. So I'll see you in the next one. And hopefully this analysis helped some of you. And let's see if we catch some trades tonight. Okay.